Hi, I'm Callie and welcome to Kapowski Reads, and I am ready to embrace the creepy side of October, and I'm bringing in the vampire books. In this video I'm going to be reading 2 vampire books to sort of roll out the red carpet, if you will, to the creepy side of October. I've done the cute, cozy, gorgeous autumnal October, and now I'm ready to be a little bit scared. I'm reading 2 new to me vampire books. I'm going to be reading The Gathering by C.J. Tudor. This is about a very small town in Alaska where a young boy has been brutally murdered by what seems to maybe be a vampire. An out of town sort of vampire detective comes to look into the case to see, was it a vampire or was it something else? I'm kind of expecting maybe a little bit of isolated setting and vampire stuff. And I'm gonna also read Women Eating by Kohda. This is about a relatively young vampire who is finding her way in life without her family. She's living in London and all she wants to do is eat. This book comes to me very highly recommended, so I'm actually looking forward to both of these. This was a book from my work book swap. I left a book and I picked this up, and this shiny little number is a library book. So I'm going to read both of these and hopefully enjoy some fun autumn moments. I know I just said that the cute autumnal season, I'm done with it. I'm not. I'm never done with cute autumn moments. I'm just kind of done with the cozy books for now. I will be back with updates when I have them. I have had a day. Since last we spoke, much drama has ensued. Our boiler broke. And I don't know if anybody knows this, because I didn't know this. Boilers are really, really expensive. But also, without a working boiler, there's no hot water. There's no heating. And this is the north of Scotland. And it's October. Both of those things are essential. So we had to get a new boiler. And now, no treats for me, even though I have literally just ordered a camera. No treats for me. Also, I got my hair cut, and that was quite expensive too. I don't know what I'm doing with it. It's literally just my normal hair, but 2 inches shorter. And I don't know, it feels fluffy, but that's probably the cold water I've been showering with. So new boiler, drama. And my boyfriend, being the loveliest man, gave me the best gift of, you can leave the house and I'll stay in and deal with the boiler replacement. So I went and sat in a coffee shop and I finished Women Eating by Kohda. I kept buying things in the coffee shop because I felt really bad about being there for so long, even though there were people who were there before I came in. It was pretty quiet. I felt bad. So I managed to make a good situation out of a bad, expensive situation with the broken boiler, and I finished my book. I loved my book. I went to Gaelic Lane, where I go regularly. It is one of my favourite cafes, and I got the granola. I've been wanting this for ages. A gorgeous vegan yogurt with granola. There's meant to be compote, but they didn't have any compote, so I got berries instead, which felt very decadent, and it was delicious. And I ate that. I drank a lot of coffee. I had 4 coffees, and I finished my book, which I'd only kind of read about 50 pages before leaving the house. This focuses on Lydia. Lydia is living in London. She has gone to stay at a sort of art studio, and she has an internship at this very prestigious gallery. She is also a vampire. And I love this book. I gave this 5 stars. I had the best time. I loved Lydia as a character. She was dealing with a lot of actual, like, real life issues outside of the whole being a vampire thing. She was dealing a lot with her self-identity, her identity as having a Japanese father, having a Malaysian mother, but also growing up in the UK, being British, but also feeling othered. She was dealing with losing her inspiration, her sort of love for art and creating. She was feeling lost, like she was only in her early 20s, feeling lost, very much alone. Her mother was experiencing almost like dementia sort of symptoms, but her mother was quite young, like only in her sort of, well, she looked to be quite young. She wasn't actually quite young because she was a vampire also. So Lydia's trying to marry together her new independent life, but also the daughter who's trying to kind of make sure her mother is cared for. She is in a care home just now because Lydia just simply can't look after her mother. And Lydia's also having to kind of take the responsibility for her own feeding. Her mother had previously managed to obtain big vats of pig's blood from a local friendly butcher, and Lydia in London is struggling to find such a local friendly butcher. I loved Lydia's new kind of life in her art studio. It's kind of a collective, and you have all of these really fun art characters. Ben is the guy who shows her around. He's just a little charming kind of, I wanted to say idiot. He's not an idiot. He's very smart. He's very lovely, but he's very charming and a little kind of bumbling. And we get to have these really fun sort of communal dinners and social events. And it's just really nice having Lydia sort of have a friend, have a community. And she starts working at this gallery, and it's a very prestigious gallery. People are jealous. People are very excited for her, but the gallery experience itself just sounds awful. It sounds very much like an internship when you're young, where you just get given these kind of crappy jobs to do that aren't in any way relevant to what you want to do. And it's very much just using this, what I'm going to assume is free labor, for not a lot. Like, she's not, what is she getting out of this internship? A name? That's about it. So it was so frustrating seeing just the way that these people are not getting to actually have a useful, valuable internship experience. But I suppose that is kind of a lot of internships, isn't it? You just get photocopying jobs, coffee runs. You don't get anything that you can actually really generally use in an actual work environment. It's not as useful as you would hope. The art director is a creepy guy. He's so weird, but he knew Lydia's dad, who was a very prestigious artist, sadly passed away, not vampire. And this director kind of starts this very uncomfortable kind of relationship with Lydia. It's very kind of creepy, and there's something about him that just makes you want to keep an eye on him. Is it because he's an older predatory man, or is it because he is a predator? Like, you don't know, but you've got feelings, you've got thoughts. All the while Lydia's kind of feeling like she is being pursued, that somebody's keeping an eye on her. Her luggage, her worldly possessions all just gone missing, and she is almost spiraling because with all of this going on, she is ravenous. She can't find any blood. She needs blood. She can't find it. She doesn't want to eat from a human because that's not what she's grown up doing. She's grown up being told that she doesn't deserve to eat from humans. She only deserves to eat from pigs. Her mother had a lot of feelings about vampires, what they were worthy of. I just thought this book was fantastic. I loved Lydia as a character. I loved all of the characters, even the creepy art guy, who, he wasn't wearing cowboy boots, but he kind of had that vibe of somebody who would probably wear cowboy boots and make it their whole personality, which, to be fair, was also me in about 2008. Love my cowboy boots. But I know what I mean. I know what I'm trying to say. He seemed like a certain guy. One who would maybe have owned a fedora. Also a little bit handsy. Not good for an art director, is it? I love the big twist, the sort of big third act finale of this book with Lydia learning what she can and cannot consume. And I just thought this was excellent. I had a worry. I had a worry of where it was going to go, and I was so invested in Lydia, and I was so worried for Lydia. I didn't want anything bad to happen to her. I really, written for the vampire, I really wanted her to be okay. This is a very short book, but I felt like it really packed a punch. It was a vampire story, but I also feel like it was a really good story about self-identity, about finding yourself, and also about the mother-daughter relationship and the sense of obligation that Lydia felt versus was it love, was it obligation, that kind of thing. I really enjoyed it. Beautifully written. I will definitely be looking for more books from this author. I think this is a debut. Yeah, great time, 5 stars. I am going to make granola now. I have had this idea. It's one of the things I want to do in autumn is make pumpkin spice granola. I don't know what that is. I'm going to make granola, put pumpkin spice in it. That's what I'm going to do. I feel inspired to actually make it because I have the stuff. I had granola today and I've got granola on the brain. So I'm going to go make that. And then I will read my next book. I'm going to be reading The Gathering by C.J. Tudor, which is a really hard word for me to say. Tudor. I want to say Tudor, like with a CH, but I know it's Tudor with a TU. It's very difficult. This is like the whole Carl thing, that Scottish people can't say the name Carl. Although I think I just said it there. I'm rambling. I'll be back. I have 2 updates for you. Update 3, actually. I have 3 updates. Update 1, still not sure how I feel about my hair. I know it's literally just a trim, but I don't know. I'm not loving it. It feels really thick, and my hair's never felt thick. I've always felt like it's really thin and scraggly. So maybe this is just it feeling healthy. I don't know. I think I just don't know how to do it now that it's slightly shorter. Update 2, I made my granola. It is a taste sensation. It is delicious. I just made the most bog standard of granola recipes, which is basically just get some oats, add a little bit of vegetable oil, some maple syrup. I added my spice mixture, which was cinnamon, nutmeg, clove, ginger, and I baked the oats on a kind of low heat for like 20 minutes. Then I broke them up a bit because they'd clumped together, kept some clumps. I like a clumpy granola. Then I added my fruits and my nuts, my pecans, hazelnuts, pears, apples, cranberries, and some coconut flakes. Oh, and sesame seeds and pumpkin seeds. Everything went in. And then gave that another 10-15 minutes. And then when it cooled down, I had the most gorgeous granola. This made a whole big box of it. I should have got a jar. It's much fancier to have your granola in a jar, but I had a box. And this is basically like 15 portions of granola. So I am good for breakfasts for the rest of the month. And a lot of the bags of the dried things I got, there's loads left. So I will be having granola for the rest of the year. It's a good job that I thought it tasted delicious. And that's another thing ticked from my autumn to-do list. I also finished The Gathering by C.J. Tudor. This book takes place in Alaska. A young boy is found murdered, basically throat ripped out. It looks like vampires. There is a vampire colony, which is just, you know, off to the side of the town. Nobody seems to really bother that the vampires were there before the people in the town, but that's another thing. And everybody is calling for a cull, which is, in this world, vampires are known to exist. There are laws to protect them. You basically can't hunt a vampire, but the law enforcement can call for a cull if there's been violence enacted by the vampires. So our main character, Varvara, she is 50 something. She's a little bit overweight, a little bit out of shape, really tiny bladder. And as a person who also has a tiny bladder, I feel that. But I didn't need to read about her going for a pee all the time because it made me feel like I had to pee. And I didn't. She is called up to go to Alaska to investigate this. She is a vampire kind of detective, for lack of a better phrase. She looks into the vampire side of things. And what she learns is that this town are really wanting a cull. But the townsfolk are generally very annoying. She is trying to look into this, and all the while they're like, yeah, but you're going to call a cull, aren't you? At no point does she go, do you want to let me look into this? Like, she can't make that decision without the facts, without looking into it. But she then finds that there is evidence being presented that is not accurate. It's not real. It's fake evidence. The police captain, who is the kind of only police in this very small town, he ends up injured. So the old captain, who's lived in solitude for 25 years, he comes back and he helps her. And he left under like a cloud because there was another vampire attack 25 years ago. And this looks a little bit similar. So it's got all the sort of hallmarks of the previous attack. So everyone's like, well, that was vampires. So let's look into that. I went through it with this book. I went through moments of really enjoying it and really hating it. And I think I hated every moment that focused on the horrible townspeople. I genuinely feel like if there was a rampage in this book, up until I'd say the last 70 pages, if there was a vampire rampage and everyone in the town got taken out, apart from the mayor, her name was Rita, she was great, and Mayflower, who was the bartender, again, she was great. If everyone else got taken out by the vampires, I'd have been okay. I'd have been happy. I was cheering the vampires in this book. We learn about the history of the town, which is a horrific history built on abusing the vampires. And I feel like there were a lot of comments made of, oh, perhaps the true villain, the true monster is man. I'm like, yeah, it's you guys. You're all awful. I don't know. I feel like I really wish I liked people in the town, because then I would actually have cared if they were gonna come to harm. But I found myself liking the vampires because they were being victimized by the humans, and the vampires had been there for centuries before the human settlements. So like, I don't know, it felt very, the book was trying to say a lot of things and I felt like it was falling a bit flat. I could see where it was going. I could see the analogies that the book was making, but it felt a little heavy-handed sometimes. Although overall, it's never a bad thing for a book to really just, you know, hit home about how bad being prejudiced is. I think that I can't really be mad about that. I liked the writing of this. It was very tense, it was very atmospheric. I really liked the setting of Alaska, and it was in winter, so there were genuine risks of the town being cut off from like civilization. They had to have, you know, people airlifted out when there were accidents, and they had to store bodies in the bar freezer because there was nowhere else to put them. So I really liked the atmosphere. I really liked the vampires. I really liked the vampires. There was also a story within the story where we get kind of a perspective of a vampire who's in captivity, and we don't really know till the end who it is, but you can kind of guess. It's one of a few people, and I really liked that part, but I wish it was built on a bit more. There was a religious community here as well that was very fire and brimstone, very grr vampires, and I hated that. but that's just, I don't like books that have like a vampire hunter, a witch hunter. I don't like that in a book unless it's kind of like almost light-hearted, you know, maybe there's a buffoon involved, but I just don't like when it's too filled with hatred. I don't find that enjoyable to read, and I'm here for enjoyment. I did find the twist. Oh, didn't really see the twist. I had an idea that it was going to be something along the lines of what it was, but not with the people. Oh, so cryptic. Not with the people that were involved. So I really like that I didn't guess the ending. And when it came out, I was genuinely like, oh, that is good. I like that. So I ended up giving this 3 stars. The writing definitely was pretty strong, and I have requested another book by this author from the library, so I will give her another go. I've never read from her before, and I will, because I had a good time. This was fine, but I'm probably going to unhaul this book. I may actually just take it back to work and be like, who's next? But I have finished my 2 vampire books, and I loved that both of them brought something different to the vampire genre. They weren't your classic turns into ashes in the light, can't eat garlic, can't, you know, go near a religious artifact. No, these were kind of new kinds of vampires with their own lore and their own history and their own kind of rules, and I really like that. I think it's so fun when you read something that's built upon like a classic, the old vampire classic, but I like when it's changed a bit, like it's made, the authors have made it their own, and I appreciate that. So 2 books down, good time had by me, many coffees, many nice cafes. Well, 2, I went to 2, and Aberdeen is just gorgeously autumnal. I'm having a great time. Vampire books, autumn stuff, coffee. Other than not feeling it with my hair, what more could a girl ask for? I will be back in my next video with more books and hopefully another 5-star read. That would be amazing. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!